February monthly forecast here at 1 Degree Outside Weather Network, meteorologist Matt Noyce. Before I dive into what I think is kind of a snowy-looking February forecast for the Northeast, if you haven't supported Art and Gail yet, would you make sure you do? bhfarmlife.com. That is their website. You can also find a link to it on our homepage because they are our partners here for another couple of weeks. You know what they've done? So this is farmer-made food. It's gourmet stuff. It's good for you. And they are giving 10% off discount to all of our friends at 1degreeoutside.com. So head to their website and you'll be able to see it there. All right. Meanwhile, in terms of precipitation over the last 30 days, a lot of the eastern U.S. has been dry, but wouldn't it be neat to be underneath that one area that was wetter than normal, right? Guess what? I think that's going to expand north and east as we get into February. It's something we've been talking about lately. I've been showing this map a lot in pattern predictions. I did it last month, though, in the monthly forecast, too. This is the height to 500 millibars. So basically, if you were to measure the pressure level, right, if you go up in the atmosphere, the pressure gets less. You don't have to go very high up if the air is dense because it's cold air is more dense. So we can color that on here for average temperature. Warm air is less dense. You have to go higher up. And so that's where you get some of that, what we call higher heights, which is warmer average temperature. Now, look, over the course of the first week of February, what else is new? We've got what we call confluent flow, the wind coming together. It doesn't encourage big systems. We've been getting some bursts of warmth that give us some snow. We'll do that, and we talk about it in Insights, certainly, for all the details on kind of the day-by-day. But in terms of the pattern, there is still hope. This is something I talked about in pattern predictions the last couple of weeks, that you're in the game. All right, you're still here. You've still got a chance of finding snow that will be decent because there's still this clash between warm average temperature and cold average temperature. So every time a disturbance ripples along, one, you have to be kind of lucky enough to be under the ribbon of snow. But notice, too, as we get toward the middle of the month, we start to get a bit of a ridge developing off the Pacific coast. We will start to carve out some troughing near the Aleutian Islands, and the polar vortex does not want to let go. That means the cold air is still very much available as disturbances kind of round the bend, grab warmth and moisture, and head up in our direction. Now, this doesn't mean everybody gets into it. There's yet again going to be sweet spots that come as these disturbances go by. But when you look at our jet stream forecast, the way Danielle and I see it for the month, that's not bad. That's not bad. That means either Mid-Atlantic or New England is going to get into it, and maybe both, right? Maybe both. I think each time will be dependent upon how strong the cold air is. If it's real strong, Mid-Atlantic gets the snowstorm out of the disturbance. If it's not quite as strong, New England gets it instead. Either way, it's colder than normal air across the northern tier of the United States. Believe it or not, February is a month of warming for us. We come up a little bit on average temperature. We think it'll be colder than these normal numbers. And in terms of precipitation, well, February ends up being the snowiest month normally. And do you remember in January, I told you, this is kind of a classic old school winter pattern for the Northeast. And it really has been, maybe not for all of us in terms of snow, but in terms of the cold and in terms of storm development, in terms of the fact that we've had cold air available for a lot of the country. We just haven't done that in a long time. Well, if you pay attention to the weather long enough, you know that when you get this type of a pattern, usually that means that as the warmth tries to come back, you're going to get snow and storms in February. And that is exactly what we think happens this month. And that's why we've got above normal with, yes, okay, maybe it's south of New England for the much above. Oh, exciting, though, for those of you in the Mid-Atlantic. But it's not far off from southern New England to try and get above normal precipitation. We've got it in for a lot of us, maybe not in northern Maine. Normal snowfall 14.4. I don't know the last time I've said this. I think we might go over it in terms of this month by the time all is said and done. You know, we don't have anything that's like a day-by-day monthly kind of product here, but certainly we can look at the next 2 weeks and say, are there any indications? And I would argue, yep, look at that already. Just in the first half of the month, you're seeing this. And what I'm telling you is, I don't think that's really going to change much as we go into the second half of the month. You can stay on top of it every day of the way, at least 14 days at a time with our totally free Noices 1 Degree Outside Weather Up on the App Store and Google Play. That's the way things look for now. Of course, lots of insight videos coming up over the next few days to take a look at each of these storm threats, a few of them showing up already. And we'll get a pattern predictions out soon. Didn't want to do it today because it's kind of repetitive, right? Look forward to seeing you again soon at 1degreeoutside.com.